Hi guys, something different today. Today we're gonna bake. Actually, we're not gonna bake, we're gonna make some pasta. I've never made pasta before, but I've got this really cool pasta machine. This is like one of those old-timey pasta machines. So this is where you thin your pasta, and this is where you either make linguine or spaghetti. So I'm going to be making pasta today, which should be a fun adventure. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my ingredients together because I'm letting my eggs come to room temperature. So I'm gonna get my 2 cups of flour, or 1 and 2. We're just using all-purpose flour today. I've got all-purpose, or I've got bread making flour, which is a little finer mill. Those of you who do a lot of baking and cooking already know that. But so I've got that. I need 2 tablespoons of EVOO, extra virgin olive oil. And then I'm gonna need a little bit of water and a little bit of salt. And then I've got my eggs over here warming up to room temperature. And then we're going to put them in my bread maker over here. And we're going to use that just to mix the dough and to knead the dough, because I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to do it manually. So let's get the ingredients together. As soon as my eggs are up to room temperature, we'll go from there. Okay, my eggs are just about at room temperature, good enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack those into the bucket for my pasta maker. Try not to get shells in there, that's always nice, unless you like crunchy pasta. Ta-da! Yeah, pasta makers, you always put your wet ingredients in first, otherwise when the thing starts stirring, it just kind of makes a mess because stuff goes everywhere. So now I need 2 tablespoons of the extra virgin olive oil, like so. There's 1 and 2. And I need a teaspoon of salt. It's a very simple recipe. I found it on a site called allrecipes.com. You got a lot of good recipes on there. Put salt in, put our flour in. All right, cool. Then we're going to put it in the bread maker. All right, so place that in there. Give it a little twist. This is a handy little bread maker I picked up on Amazon. It's an Amazon Essentials bread maker. No, I'm not getting paid by Amazon to advertise this. It's just something I picked up. I like it. I've made wheat bread, oat bread, and white bread with this. Plus I've used it to mix pastas and things of that nature. It was inexpensive and it works really well. So basically I'm just going to do the dough setting. I'm going to start that, and it's just going to start mixing my dough. I'm going to keep the lid open because I need to add some water to it, because you need a little bit, a couple of tablespoons of water, just so the dough gets to the right consistency, because you don't want your dough to be too dry, and you don't want to add too much water and make it too wet either. So I'm going to let that do its little thing here for a bit, get all nice and mixed up. Start adding a little bit of water to it, just a teaspoon at a time, just so we get a good consistency of our dough. So I've got 2 teaspoons of water in there so far. some water in there. It takes all the work out of it. It's a lot easier this way. Okay, I've let the bread knead for about 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop it. And we're going to let the dough rest for 10 minutes more before we cut it into 8 sections, and then we run it through our pasta maker. So I've let my pasta dough rest for approximately 12-15 minutes. So I need to cut it into sections here. I'll use the wonderful dough separating tool that I got from Temu to separate it into 8 sections, give or take. All right, there's 4. I'm gonna cut those in half. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Perfect. And I'm just going to lightly dust these with a little bit of flour because I don't want them to stick to the pasta maker. And we're going to start with the pasta maker open as wide as it'll go. So let me double check the settings here. So this part here is going to flatten out the pasta. I'll put my little handle in here. And we're going to just run the dough right through like so. Let's turn it this way so you can see it. And it's going to flatten out my dough. Then I'm going to crank it down a notch and make it a little thinner. It'd be helpful if this thing didn't move, but hey, oh look, extra hands. All right, let's crank it down one more notch. Oop, about like so. We'll run that through again, like so, like there. Ooh, yeah, that's cool. As you can see, it's getting thinner. I'll crank it down. There we go. Crank it down one more notch. Quit moving my thing. Okay, crank that down.
I got an idea. Just stick for a second.
Perfect, look at that. Ho, 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 ho.
Put the machine.
Oh, now you've done it.
All
All right.
See if that helps.
That looks like it's pretty thin. I don't know if...
It's gonna make linguine. I think that should be good.
That should be good for a linguine. Okay. Well,
Now we'll find out.
Ask the expert. Okay. All right, so then we're gonna run it through here, like so. And this is going to cut it into nice strips of linguine. And it looks about like that. Look at that. That is pretty cool.
What? Get a few more.
I've got linguine. Look at there. Nice. We'll just drape that across our rack over here for now. Oops. Just dropped the rack in the sink.
I don't think that's a good place to put it.
Look at there. We got linguine. And I'm not talking about the character on Ratatouille. Okay, so 3. Crank that back open. Do the next one. Crank it down. You always want to do it in steps, otherwise you overstress your dough. Perfect. Crank it down one more. This is fun. Oops. Just feed it in there. I've also learned if it starts to stick, you just sprinkle a little bit of extra flour on there, and that'll keep it from sticking to your machine. Slip a little flour in there, just keep it nice and dry. Crank that down there. Look at that.
Then I think this would be the last one.
Almost like I know what I'm doing.
Okay, I don't think I would do it.
Okay, look at that, nice and thin. Let's see. Okay, now we're going to put it through the cutting edge once again, like so. And feed it in there nice and straight. And we get perfect. That's it.
That one didn't. That one kind of stuck.
There we go. Maybe I need to add some flour to that too.
Yeah, because that's kind of
Yeah, it got a little stuck.
You know what? I would ball it back up and run it through.
Look, I could straighten that out. See? Look at there. That'll work. We'll just straighten them out like that. Perfect. So we've made pasta. As you can see, I've got a couple serving, a part of a serving here. So it's not perfect. It's first time using the machine, so hey, for a first time, I think it came out great. Okay, so one thing we've determined is, in order to get this to work in the machine properly, is you have to have a little more flour on the dough. Found out that it was starting to curl up, and I wanted to correct that. So we took some of the stuff that I already had made. We're going to run it through the machine again. And as you can see, flatten it out a little here. I'm going to run it through the machine, which will just basically reform the noodles back into one big piece of dough. So much easier with two people. I guess if I had a attachment to my KitchenAid to do this, it would be even easier, but this works.
It's more exciting.
Just have to run it through a bunch of times just to get the dough to form perfectly.
I would say
one more time.
Yeah, one more time, and
one more time, make it nice and thin.
Yeah.
Ooh,
oh yeah, this is going to be perfect.
Yeah,
okay, so yeah, this will be.
All right. So then, what we got to do is we got to put that back over here to dust it, because we want to make sure it goes through the machine really well and doesn't stick together, which is a problem. The first couple of times we ran it through, we were having a problem with everything sticking together and it didn't look right. So if you watch this time, and turn the camera over this way just a bit, I'm going to run it through here, and this time it's going to come through and look like it should. As you can see, there we go. There's some beautiful noodles there. Woohoo! So there we go. All right, so make sure you like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun making pasta for the first time from scratch. Usually we just buy it at the store like normal people. But this was fun. This is an adventure in pasta making. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you haven't, all my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate you. And I've got a Temu order coming in this week, so I'll have a new video of another Temu unboxing. Hope to see you real soon. Take care.